the Officer Tatum Show. We're going to get this thing figured out here in a second, get the intro and all of the stuff going. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in the media, mainly the Tom Homan selection. Now, these liberals are losing their mind because we have a person that is speaking common sense and truth, a person that is going to actually abide by the federal laws that are in place today. Now, Tom Homan is an incredible guy, and we'll get to that in a second because I want to play a bunch of clips of Tom Homan because I think that he literally just sparks something in me. Every time I listen to him talk, I'm like, what have we been doing all this time? That this guy sounds like a radical, just abiding by the law, doing what Democrats have done. Obama was the deporter in chief. Let's not forget that. Remember, he deported more people than any president in the United States history. I remember Obama was on television one time when they were interviewing him. He said, don't come over here. It's dangerous, and you're not going to get amnesty when you get here. And everybody has gotten amnesia. But anyway, I want to start by saying Happy Veterans Day for all the veterans out there, men and women who have served. I appreciate you. You should be honored. You should be appreciated. And I know there was a tremendous sacrifice that you made, and we are honoring you. And I don't want you to, overlook it as, pat yourself on the back. We would not be here if it had not been for your sacrifice, no matter how big or small the sacrifice ended up being. I remember when I was a cop, they said, we don't pay you for what you have to do. We pay you for what you may have to do. And so when it comes to serving this country, for those of you who served, you may not have gone to a combat zone, or you may have. Many people are struggling right now with mental illness and everything from what they've done to sacrifice for America. And some of these blue-head devils out here still crying and talking about they want to move to another country. Well, go ahead then, if you don't appreciate the sacrifice. Before we get to Tom Homan, I want to start out by giving some updates on the election. Now, I can't see myself right now, so I don't know if the election thing is up yet, but okay, it's up now. So I want to give a couple updates on the election because we obviously know that Donald Trump won every swing state and he dominated, which you can see here. He got 312 delegates. But then you go down here and you look at the Senate. Now, I heard earlier that they've called Arizona for Ruben Gallego. This is what I've heard. Now, Republicans have already swept. We now control the Senate. But this is an interesting thing here in Arizona with Ruben Gallego. It is a week after the election dang near, and we still haven't counted the doggone votes yet. At this point, we're 92%. There's still 300,000 votes that are outstanding from what I hear, and it does not look like that Kari Lake can overcome this margin. If you look at the numbers right here, some of you guys can't see it. He's at 50%. She's at 47%. This third-party Green Party candidate screwed her because I would argue that most of these people probably would have voted for her instead of Gallego. But right now, she's down about 70,000 points or 70,000 votes. With what's left on the table, I don't know if she can overcome that. Now, a lot of people are going to go online and tell you, oh, it's because of fraud and all this. No, stop it. I think we have to do a better job at putting up a better candidate. Why do you say that, Mr. Tatum? Because David Schweiker didn't have a problem winning. Donald Trump didn't have a problem winning. Juan is not going to have a problem winning. He's up 49% with 83% of the vote. I think he's going to take this victory. I don't think any of these other people have a problem winning. They're not having a problem winning here. They're not struggling here in California. They got a healthy lead all the way through. Earlier, they called Gabe Evans. They haven't called him on here, but earlier they called Gabe Evans in Colorado, that he flipped that seat. So could there be nefarious things that are happening? Potentially. I do not think that's the case in this election. I think that Kari Lake is not as strong of a candidate as Donald Trump. Donald Trump won 52% of the vote in Arizona. Kari Lake is down to 47% of the vote. You see David Schweiker won. What did he win? 52% of the vote. When it's all said and done, this gentleman may win 50 to 52% of the vote. When you start to look at it, you say, the voting is consistent. The Republicans that they like in the state of Arizona are consistently winning. And Kari Lake just so happened to be struggling. And you cannot say that, oh, it's because of nefarious things only when it applies to her. Martha McSally lost to both Senate seats. She was appointed after McCain passed. Then she lost the seat. Then she ran against, what's his name? Mark Kelly, lost the seat. Kari Lake ran for governor, did not win. And now she's running for a Senate seat, and it doesn't look like she's going to win. So at the end of the day, you have to, and I hope that she win. I hope she pull it out. Some people haven't called it yet. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the candidate and say, are we putting out the best candidate? Because we put up Donald Trump, and he won. We put up David Schweiker, he won. For the 7th time. You put up other people that have won in the House legislature. They've won. We have to consider the candidate and say, is this the best candidate? And do Arizonans want this candidate to be their candidate? All right. I think I said enough there. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. They're trying to see if we can control the House. It looks like we're on pace to control the House and the Senate. Let's go to my boy, Tom Homan, because I think this is probably the most consequential appointee from the Trump administration that we've seen. And when I say appointee, he's been appointed to be the border czar. And I love his stances. I love what he says. I love how he articulates himself. Do I think he sounds like the smartest guy in the lecture hall? No, he looked like he got somewhat of a speech impediment. But is he going to get the job done? And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. I think he's going to get the job done in a great way. So let me play the clip if you guys don't know who this man is and what he's going to do when he's officially in his capacity to secure the border. Roll the clip.
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country.
I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments
this is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years. And yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms in back of that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree on that, but I disagree.
But I also disagree with your characterization of immigrants as
pro-American people for 3 decades on this.
Gentlemen, time is.
Look, you want to know why there's 50,000 people in detention? You want to know why we have 1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan, please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
That's what I'm talking about.
The recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
parents. If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father from his family. Mr.
Homan, with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
My favorite part.
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
You better start packing now.
Hold on a second. So people are just jumping in and saying, what are we watching? You're watching the guy Tom Homan, who was just appointed by Donald Trump to be the Border Czar, and you're watching a highlight tape of his stances. The man is a man's man. And thank God, it's such a reinvigorating feeling to have good, common sense stuff going on in the government. We shouldn't even be having this conversation. I don't even know how we got to this point. If you come to the country illegally, you can't be here. It's a difference between seeking asylum and going through the port of entry and doing it the legal way. There's a legal way to seek asylum in America. There's a legal way to immigrate to America. It's really simple. If you're going to sneak under the gate, go through a tunnel, creep into our country, trying to go undetected, there's laws against that. And you don't get to just bypass laws because you hungry. You don't get to bypass laws because your country's sorry and that you're seeking a better opportunity. Because then, therefore, with your logic, then people that live in inner city communities should be able to rob other people because they want something to eat too. Because they daddy ain't around and they mama's struggling on welfare, they should be able to go in the store and just grab groceries and walk out. Is that what we're saying? If you're going to let illegal aliens come in our country and do that, why can't the regular citizen say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of working. My leg hurt. I can't work no more. Or I can't get the job I want, so I'm going to steal it from this person. I can't afford to go to university. I'm just going to walk in the lecture hall and sit down and get an education and get a diploma at the end of it. No. I don't need to go to a job application. I'm just going to go into the warehouse at Target and I'm just going to pick up a vest and start picking and packing. And I'm going to get a check at the end of this. And I'm going to get a retirement and a pension. No, I don't need to apply for the job. I don't need to go do a background check. I don't need to do none of that. I'm just going to show up and do this and it's mine. No, that ain't how it work, Sister Mama. That ain't how it work. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. Wrote it.
You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message. Another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done. Why would you release 5 or 6 female children to one male sponsor? Why would you do that? So God help these children. God help these children. I love kids. And this administration, I don't want to hear another word about you being humane. You're putting children at risk. Record number of Americans are dying. Record numbers of migrants are dying. There's one guy who can fix this shit, and it's Donald Trump. Look, I knew President Trump was going to run before you did because I had dinner with him in Las Vegas about 6 months before he announced. And we were having dinner, and he looked at me and says, Tom, I think I'm coming back. If I come back, can I get you to come back? I says, I tell you what, sir, I'm so pissed off, I'll come back for free.
I love that guy, man. That's the kind of people we want. Is there another clip or that's it? No, there's another clip. Is this it? No. I love that guy, man. I love a person that's straightforward and that's going to take care of business. Somebody said, I didn't know you were live. We're going to work on getting it out there, the message. We're going to try to go live every day at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard, which is 3 p.m. Arizona time. So we're going to try to go live every day and just see if this works a little differently. Because it appears that, like, I want to change it up a little bit. You know, we do the same old videos. YouTube doesn't like it. So I'm trying to do something different. But we got a couple other clips from Tom Homan, if we could pull it up. This is just additional clips is the reason why the left is going crazy. And then we're going to play some clips from Scott Jennings of him defending the decision that Donald Trump made. These people love to call this man a racist and all this other stuff. No, we're just going to do what's right for the American people. We're going to do what's right for the American people. You guys cannot come over here and take opportunity and jobs and commit crimes and have babies in this country. Do you know how ridiculous it is for us to allow foreign actors to come into America and anchor babies here? That's the craziest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't think that you can do that in any country across the world. That you go to their country, and if you have a baby there, you didn't get pregnant there. They don't know when you got pregnant, but you have a baby there. Somehow your baby is a naturalized citizen. That amendment right was for black slaves in this country. It was for black people who had been freed from slavery that were not considered to be citizens. And they say, if you were born here, you are naturalized as a citizen. And if you have children here, they become citizens as well. And then they let people break in. Listen, if you break the law to get here, you should not have any rights. You should not have due process. And you should not be able to anchor a baby here. And even if we had anchor baby status, if you were here legally and you had a child, you like a visa or a green card or something like that, and you were here legally, you had a kid here, I can see how a person could consider that. But if you have already broken the law to get here, and now we make your children citizens, it's the dumbest act of all time, because if something happens to where you have to be deported, your kid get to stay here and you have to go? That never made sense whatsoever. And Republicans and Democrats alike have been dropping the ball on this subject for whatever reason. People often say that Republicans wanted cheap labor and Democrats obviously want the votes. Both people are abusing these innocent people, most of them who are innocent, who come over here just looking for a better opportunity because they were lied to. They were looking at the news. They got flyers dropped off. Coyotes are telling them, if you go over there, you're going to get citizenship. You're going to have jobs and opportunities or whatever. And then they get trafficked over here. The little girls get trafficked. The kids get trafficked. There's over 300,000 kids that they don't have account for because they bring the kids over here. And who's their daddy? Mama. Where they come from? What's their real name? They have no social security number. They have nothing. Then they get over in the country, and the crazy people, the sickos, they take those kids and do all kind of stuff with them. Where do you think that who you think they recording on those videos that they get busted for looking at and sharing online? Y'all know what I'm saying. I'm trying not to say it, but they be recording stuff with, where do you think they get these kids from? Okay, and they supposed to be the party of empathy and compassion, full of sugar honey iced tea. Roll the clip. No sound.
Touched by criminal cartels they can't find. This administration has lost over 300,000 children that were smuggled in this country by criminal cartels they can't find. That's another priority. We need to save these children because some of these children are in forced labor. Some of these children are in sex trafficking. Some of these children are living a life of hell every day. And we need to save these children and get them back with their families.
Tom, first of all, congratulations to you. And I'm so glad for the Border Patrol that morale is already being lifted. They have just been beaten down by the policies of this last administration. I'm really encouraged by what you're saying, because I think the toughest part of your job isn't the deportation. It's dealing with the propaganda from the other side saying that what you're doing is not compassionate, that it's not humanitarian. And what do you plan to do? I'm glad you mentioned the 300,000 children that are missing. But how are you going to deal with those kinds of attacks, even though you know that this open border has led to sex trafficking of children and an exponential increase of child labor, illegal child labor?
Frankly, I don't care what people think about me, especially on the left. Now, again, when you have a historic crisis, a crisis this big, here's what they need to know. When you have a crisis this big that overwhelms the Border Patrol, where the majority of Border Patrol are no longer on patrol, they're making sandwiches, they're changing diapers, they're making baby formula, they're making hospital runs, they're making airport runs. When you take most of Border Patrol agents off the border to deal with humanitarian crisis, that's when the fentanyl comes across to kill 250,000 Americans. That's when the sex trafficking has increased 600%. That's when no suspected terrorists has crossed this country. They've had a record of people on terrorist watches that have been arrested at the southern border. That's why you have over 2 million gotaways. How many of them came from a country sponsoring terror? So I don't care what anybody's opinion is on illegal immigration. When you create a crisis this big, all these other bad things happen. Well, I think, look, it'd be great to have local law enforcement assist ICE, because, one thing we learned during 9/11 report was we shouldn't have stovepipes. Law enforcement should be working with law enforcement. But, there's two things. Number one, under President Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities, DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion: if you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, but we're going to do it.
Let me add this. Federal funding is a big part of where I think they have leverage at, the Trump administration. If you are receiving federal funding and you do not cooperate with the federal government on federal established law, you should no longer get federal funding in any capacity. How does the federal government say, we want to enforce, just say, minor attractive stuff laws, right? If you mess with little kids, you're going to go to jail. Federal law. Some states say, we don't want to listen to that. Okay, just do whatever you want to do. That's not how it works. The way it works is, if you do not cooperate with the federal government, they shouldn't give you federal funding. The end. But then Scott Jennings had a lot to say in Tom Homan's defense, because the left is going crazy and trying to say deporting people is racist, when the first black president deported more people than any president in history up until that point. It wasn't racist when he did it. It wasn't racist when he was separating families. Look, man, if you want to come over here illegally and we have to send you home, just take your kids with you. You don't get separated. If you got a kid here, got a daddy here, he got to get deported. Put them together and deport the whole family. And I don't think it's anything wrong with this. Let me put my perspective on. Let me put my stank on it real quick. I think the reality of this is this: we can walk and chew gum at the same time. If you right now, we should shut the border. That means nobody can come into the country at this point unless you've been legally qualified as an immigrant, whether you're seeking asylum and we've accepted your asylum claim, or you're in the process of seeking asylum. But if you just come over here after we've established that we're shutting the border down, you go right back. There ain't no catch and release. Catch and you throw you back over the fence, or we'll open up and kick you back through. And if you committed a crime in this country, I don't care if you stole some chewing gum from the corner store, you are getting deported immediately. You're going to get deported immediately. You got to get out of here. Take them back to the border where they came. If you are illegally in this country and you commit a crime. I'm not saying if you have a green card or you something like that and you're a permanent resident or something like that and you commit a crime. I'm saying if you're illegally in this country and you commit a crime, you should get deported. If you take the life of somebody in this country, we should take you into there and put that needle in your arm. Therefore, we don't have to waste time taking you back, and we don't have to waste time feeding you. You put the needle in the arm immediately, and it's over with. Done deal. And then I think that we can get people, and I think that they can probably create a sponsor program where a family or because there's people who are probably illegally in this country that work for other people, that clean your house, do your lawn. I mean, all the stuff that you can get away with being illegal and still work, all of those jobs that people are doing, working, you should be able to say, okay, that person has been working for me. I want to recommend that this person have a pathway to becoming a citizen in this country. And then they get evaluated. Have they ever committed a crime? Are they working on learning English and assimilating to American values? Are they doing it? Okay, then they have a pathway. And they got to pay. And if they came over here illegally, they got to pay some taxes. They got to do all kind of the stuff, and they still may not get it. But at least give them an opportunity. Now, if we give them an opportunity for the ones who we ain't going to be able to deport, they come out of the shadows, they have not committed crimes, we give them an availability to do that, we will win that vote. And the Democrats will never have a chance at an election again. If we fail to do that, because we cannot deport all these people in 4 years, if we fail to do that and somehow don't recover the presidency in 2028, the Democrats are going to have a strong push to give all these people amnesty. And if they get away with that, the people who they gave amnesty to, that they've already placed in all of these swing states, are going to vote for them. And all these margins of victories that we previously had, they're going to overcome with illegal votes. I'm telling you, they're going to do it. So we got to be smart and strategic and do it before they do it in an appropriate manner. I really would love to be naive enough to say we could deport every single illegal person in this country. Well, we can't do it in 4 years, and it's impossible because how do we find these people? It's 20 million people spread all out over the United States of America. How do we find them? And so I think that we need to have a capacity to do something of that nature so we can have this backfire on them. If we don't do it, I think we're going to make a big mistake. All right, let's go to Tom Cotton's explanation. I'm not Tom Cotton. Scott Jennings. I said Tom Cotton. Scott Jennings. Let's go to Scott Jennings real quick. And if you're watching, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Some of y'all in the comment section, Sarah, thanks so much for telling people to hit the like button. It helps the video get a little more love. All right. All right. So the left is mad because Donald Trump is actually fulfilling his promises that he's going to secure the border and all the other stuff. And this is one of the first steps. Roll the clip.
Well, first of all, I think Mr. Homan is the exact right choice, and I'm glad the president has moved on that so quickly because it was such a big part of his campaign. Number two, look, there's a whole bunch of people in this country that don't need to be here. In fact, there's, I think, 1.3 million people who've already received deportation orders from federal courts. They've already had due process. They need to leave. And so,
see, he said there's 1-point-something million people that already have deportation orders. Those people you go and deport immediately. Immediately. Roll it.
So there's a good place to start. There's a whole other bunch of people who are here that we know have committed violent crimes, either where they were or since they've been here. They need to be sent away as well. So there are large numbers of people that need to be taken out of this country, and I think Mr. Homan is going to be the person who's most capable of getting that done. And for those who think that this is somehow unusual, it's not. Every administration deports people. Barack Obama deported all kinds of people, lots of people, in fact. And so it's something that the executive branch can and should do when due process has occurred or when we know there are people in the country who wish harm on American citizens. This should not be controversial, and in fact, in the campaign, it wasn't. Polling repeatedly showed that people supported Trump's viewpoint on this issue.
All right, we got some other clips from Scott Jennings. Do we? Scott Jennings, I think, spoke on this a few times on television where it got heated. In another clip, he was speaking to like a panel, and it had, I think, a black dude on there or something like that, because it was a panel. He was on a Fox News, not Fox News, but a CNN panel. It was him. It was a few other people on there, and he was standing up against them. I think that's the one that you're looking at right there. So we'll get to that in a second, but I think Scott Jennings is 100% correct because this is simple, y'all. We don't. The thing is that they go, we're gonna deport all these grandma and them. And when grandma and them ain't gonna get deported, nobody even know grandma is even illegal. Grandma's sitting at the house somewhere, cooking tortillas and flautas and all of my favorite Mexican food. Grandma ain't out there committing crimes and interacting with police and border patrol. But there's millions that are. There's millions that have had deportation order. There's millions that are coming to the border that we can see them right there. Look at them. They running through the border. Oh, them right there. Who are you going to deport? Them right there. All of them. And once you start doing that, they realize they can't come over here. And the caravans are going to be streaming through. But I think that it is invaluable, and I hope that people I hope that people are listening to me. If I ever have a chance to sit down with Donald Trump, and I know other people are telling him this, if I have a chance to sit down with Donald Trump, I'm going to tell him, Trump, we got to do something with these people that have come into our country illegally, or they overstayed the visa, but they're here working and they're doing something positive. They're paying taxes. They're trying to do what's right. They're not committing crimes. They're not out here doing nothing silly, because, I cannot confirm or deny that I have people that I've worked with or work with me into some capacity, whether they're doing the yard, whether they're cleaning up the house, or whatever the case may be, and they English ain't good, and whatever the case may be. I don't know. I didn't check their status, right? But show up, work hard, keep their head down, doing the American dream. I think them people deserve something. We can help them out with something, because we ain't going to be able to deport them at this point. But we got another clip from Scott Jennings. I think this may be a different clip. Roll the clip and let's see what it was.
He just won a mandate from the American people to execute on the program that he laid out in this election. It wasn't particularly close. And I think he ought to put people in place who are going to do it. That's what the people are asking for.
Who will go after his enemies? I mean, that's
not what he ran on.
Yes, it is. It is explicitly what he ran on.
That's not what he ran on.
Look at what he said in the past week. He literally said that he was going to exact vengeance.
You still don't understand how you lost. He ran on
Don't
immigration.
say me. I'm not a Democrat.
He ran on immigration.
I'm a journalist.
He ran on inflation.
I'm not here paid
to
represent
one of the many things he ran on in addition
He ran on the issues that people care about. He ran on.
Let me say this. Hold on a second. The black guy that's sitting across the panel from him, I want to like the guy, but I think he's super soft on these topics. I feel like the guy play it safe. Now, I don't know everything he's done. I follow him on social media. I feel like he play it safe, bro. I feel like Scott Jennings is always going to bat with these people. And I feel like when he talks, he's like passive with it. I don't know why. Like, Scott Jennings is getting bullied on this panel by everybody. Nobody's standing up for him. The other pundit that I'm assuming he don't agree with this, he's not saying nothing. Bro, can you stand up and say something? Donald Trump did not run and win on revenge policy. Now, was it a part of what he said? Yeah, because the people want that. The people want everybody who screwed us over to be held accountable. And I know Scott Jennings do this all the time, so it's easier for me to sit here and respond to these women. But I wish that he would respond in a certain way, right? I mean, he could easily say, or not easily say, but I would like for him to say that the American people wanted this. Donald Trump is not running on getting revenge for people he don't like. He's saying that if you broke the law, you're going to be held accountable. He's saying the dirty shenanigans that they did on J6, all the other stuff that y'all doing, when we catch you, you will be held accountable. That's all Trump is saying. And the people, it resonate with the people. That's why they voted for him overwhelmingly. And that's not all he ran on. Because if all he ran on was revenge, like all they ran on is hate Trump, he wouldn't have won. Keep it going.
Economy,
nobody's saying that he didn't run on those things, but he also ran on vengeance.
Yes.
He did also run on going after the people who went after him.
And journalists.
It was a key feature of all of his speeches.
Yes, Scott, he literally said, I am your retribution. The Biden crime family, lock her up. Went after Sessions repeatedly for not doing what he wanted Sessions to do, which was to indict Hillary or whoever he wanted to indict.
You can want his campaign to have been about, tax reform and things like that. That is not what he said on the stump. Time after time after time. Also he talked about going after his enemies.
I'm heartened by the fact that the left still cannot figure this out.
Even if you just take the January 6th part of it, he made that a big part of his campaign, that he would, if he were in power, pardon those people. You can't say that was not on the agenda. It absolutely was.
What was the campaign about? Why did
but do you think that he's going to do those other things when it comes to the Department of Justice?
I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not.
A big part of the campaign was being a victim. Like, that was a big part of it, was his victimhood. They're coming for you, but they're going to have to get through me. That was his whole line. That is all about the enemies list. That is all.
I totally disagree.
The deep state. This is the stuff that he talked about on the stump. Unless you just don't want to listen to him.
What happens is these people, this is all they hear from pundits and talking point people. Donald Trump spoke about a lot of things that made America feel like we need to fix this stuff. and he did an incredible job. That's why he whooped the socks off of these Democrats. All they did was hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to take his life. They tried to ruin his reputation. They tried to bankrupt the man. They screwed him in 2020. I mean, we go down the list. They did all this, and they lost. Why? Because the American people don't care. American people is not watching Real Housewives of D.C. The American people are looking at them grocery bills, and they're being like, that was $5, and it's $13 right now. That was $10, and now they're selling it for $45. Now, ain't nothing to go up that high, but you get what I'm saying. You're looking at it and being like, I used to go to the grocery store and spend $250, and I did good. Now you go to the grocery store, you spend $400. You know, that's the thing that people are looking at, and they're saying, okay, we get it. When Trump was in office, this is what happened. Now that they've been in office, this is what happened. And they don't have a strategy behind anything that they're doing. Somebody asked a question in the comment section. Let me go back. Put me on full screen. Somebody asked a question in the comment section about why Kari Lake isn't a good candidate. Let me just go back on this real quick to address this, and then we're going to go to some more stuff. Kari Lake, in my opinion, lost momentum because I supported Kari. I rallied with Kari. I voted for Kari then. I voted for Kari now. But I'm a realist because we have to be realistic about the perspective of what we're looking at so we don't continue to make mistakes and end up getting our heads whooped every single election. Kari Lake started out hot, but she began to offend McCain Republicans in Arizona. And if you offend the McCain Republicans in Arizona, they will not vote for you. And then Arizona is weird when it comes to women's reproductive care and all this other stuff. So Donald Trump's vision of America as a whole enticed people. Kari Lake's vision of America turned off some people in Arizona because they wanted Prop 139 to pass. Kari Lake came out with her haphazard response to the life of the unborn because she was trying to be something she's not. That's the thing. I think that's what hurt Kari. People liked Kari Lake because when she first came out, she was bold, she was courageous, and then it started leaning more towards she's trying to be like Donald Trump. And in Arizona, people don't like that, especially not local politics, federal representation. Now, building the economy and keeping us safe across the country, but then when you go to local government, people are looking at Kari like, And then not only was it that, was the momentum is lost. Donald Trump is the only person that can run, lose, run again, win. In the eyes of the people. We know he won 3 times, if you ask me. He's the only person in the world that can do that. Nobody else can do that. So when she ran and lost, and she's trying to run again, she lost a lot of momentum. Nobody's talking about Kari Lake anymore. Nobody was talking about Kari Lake anymore. Mitch McConnell didn't give no money to Kari Lake, from what I'm hearing. He didn't endorse her financially. So if we go and look at it, I bet you Ruben Gallegos outspent Kari Lake by 3-4 times. That's what happened to Arizona last time. Mark Kelly raised $75 million, and what's his name that ran against Mark Kelly raised $9 million. Herschel Walker in Georgia raised $35 million. Warnock raised $75 million. Back in the midterms in Nevada, the governor won, a Republican. The senator lost, got outspent by tens of millions of dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting outspent. Their propaganda campaign is working. Kari Lake's momentum dropped. She gave a weird response to the life of the unborn. And therefore, people are not interested in her as much. And then she secretly recorded Jeff DeWitt, which he sounded horrible on the secret recording. But when I go back and think about it, I think he was right. He told Kari, sit this one out. We'll give you a cush job over here. We'll make sure you take care of. Sit this one out because you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win the election. You're gonna struggle to win. And what happened? Everybody else won by a good margin, at least 52% or 50 or 52%. She's the only one that's below 50. She's at 47% right now. And I want conservatives to stop jumping to the cheating train, because we look foolish when we say that. If all the Republicans were taking L's except Trump, then I'd say, okay, they're trying to go for the Senate. They're trying to go for. All the Republicans were winning. We took over the House in this election. Republicans were flipping seats. It wasn't a barely win. We flipped the whole Senate. We're probably going to flip the House of Representatives. It's at least 8 Republicans that are leading right now. Even if like one of them don't win, we still got enough to flip the House. So unless they just randomly pick Kari, we got to stop being silly. I think Kari, and it's not her, it's that we have to find Republican candidates that can run a clean, good campaign that Arizonans believe in. And I'm not saying it's a woman thing. I don't know, because I just think Republican women, I don't know what it is, because McCain won by a landslide. Doug Ducey, who's the governor here, won by 300,000 votes. It seemed like the 2 women that we put up for the Senate seat and governor seat have lost. I don't know if it's that Arizona want to see a man run. Do they respect a man, or just the 2 women we use? And I could say more. I could say Kari Lake, I think, is a better candidate than Martha McSally was. Martha McSally was a terrible candidate. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I went to Martha McSally's website when she was running against Kirsten Sinema. I said, let me look at these websites and see what people are seeing. Martha McSally didn't even have her issues on her website. She didn't have any issues on her website. She's just an Air Force veteran. That's why she took that L, dog. All right, we got a few other things that I want to get to today. Y'all just give me a second. I think we wanted to talk about, we got Scott Jennings. The Rick Scott controversy. Now, I didn't do the research like I should have done on Rick Scott. It looks like the majority of the MAGA Republicans want to vote for Rick Scott to be the Senate majority leader. Mitch McConnell. I know Mitch McConnell is not up for the representative seat at this point. I think they want somebody different. Whoever is going to 100% stand by Donald Trump's agenda should be the representative of the Senate. It appears that everybody and their mama that's relevant is endorsing Rick Scott. I don't have a say in it, but I think people should endorse Rick Scott. It looks like he's the victor in that, according to what the people want. I don't care who they pick. I just know that the person who they pick better represent the people. We have another opportunity, which no other party in the history of this country probably has had this opportunity twice. Twice. I got 4 fingers up. People do it 4 times. Twice. We had the House and Senate and presidency in 2016. Now we have the House, Senate, and presidency now in 2024. We need to get everything done that we can possibly get done now. Because no telling what's going to happen in the midterms. There's no telling what's going to happen in 2028. But I be darned if we sit on our freaking hands again. I'm going to be ticked if we sit on our hands with an opportunity to codify certain things we need, put things in a place that can never be changed, get Clarence Thomas out of there, let him retire with dignity, and put another young conservative in the Supreme Court. And just stack the House. This is our time to stack the House. This is our time to put our foot down. I'm really hoping and praying that we take this seriously and we get this done. Well, on my Instagram account, and we're gonna switch gears real quick. Matter of fact, let's go to some merch real quick, and then we're gonna switch gears. I want you guys to see the merch that we have, and then we're gonna switch gears because I want to talk about this young man that was in the classroom that literally stood up to his teacher. He stood up to of the students. I mean, he literally was fending for himself in the classroom. And I reached out to him, but he looked like he young. So I reached out to him. I said, I couldn't find his parents on there. I asked him how old he was, and I said, how can I get in touch with your parents? Because what I wanted to do is write the kid a check and give it to him to bless him. And I'm going to show y'all why. And when you watch this video, you're going to realize why I want to bless him. Let me show you guys some merch real quick. Tatum store, if you want some merch, go to Tatum store. Discount code POTUS30. We still doing a 30% off deal. Get you some Victory merch. This is my favorite right here, the Victory ring. But some people say it looked like Tennessee. I think it looked like Trump. You see the 45-47, but you can get some other Victory merch. I do think that the Victory shirt is our best seller, and then the Victory ring is second. Not Tired of Winning, Make America Great Again. I mean, all of these are good products. The Trump Vans is by far one of the fan favorites. Also, the 47. We're sold out of the 47, I believe. You see this says sold out. If you go to the actual product page, and it's going to say notify me, you got to click on there, hit notify me, and then you put your name in the list. As soon as we get this back in stock, which we plan on restocking soon, we'll notify you. Okay, let's get to the story about the young man who was in the classroom and got into that altercation with his teachers and one of the students. And he's a young black kid, which made me more excited because I have hope a little bit that some of us are jumping off the boat before it sink. And I know people are mad at me. Why you hate black people? It's like I don't dislike black people. I just wish that black people could tell the truth about the condition that black people are in so we can fix it. Because if we're not realistic about the condition that we're in, we're never going to fix anything. So buckle your seatbelts, get your life insurance ready. I want y'all to watch this clip because it's insane what these students and this teacher is doing. Roll the clip.
He don't even like you.
What right is he taking away from women?
He don't like your race. He will spit on you. He don't even like
what right is he taking away from women?
He don't like y'all. He don't like none of us. He doesn't like Mexicans. He don't even like his own race.
What right is he taking away from women? Y'all still not answering my question.
That.
I
You're
asked that for like 5 minutes.
Answered it.
What was the answer?
We answered it.
Y'all brought up education once I asked that question. Because y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. Y'all just go on Twitter, look at what they say, and just run with it.
Myron, you go on Twitter. I watched the debate. I heard everything.
Y'all thought he was taking away abortions. He can't even do that here.
Myron, what debate did you watch?
He's so stupid. Yes, please look at the Chromebook. So I want to see what right he's taking. Let me search it up. What right? Let's see what right he's taking away from women.
Look at what he's saying.
Let's see what right he's taking away from women. Let's watch it.
Let's see what he's giving you when he is.
No, what right is he taking away from women?
Let's see what he's doing for you.
Because they said that last time.
The right to an abortion was overturned by the Supreme Court that Donald Trump.
Get that camera off.
It's not when you. Hold on. You hear the teacher in the background? He said the rights to an abortion was overturned by Donald Trump. First of all, it wasn't overturned by Donald Trump. He did mention the Supreme Court in that rant. But the Supreme Court ruled that it's not a constitutionally protected right. So therefore, it is up to the states and the people to vote on and determine what level and how far they want to go with this whole conversation. What exceptions they want, all of the above. It is up to the states. I don't know why people want to be victimized. Keeping the federal government in charge of it is worse than the states because the federal government can impose a restriction. And they say this is federal law. We impose a restriction to 2 weeks or whatever they want to do. Heartbeat, which I wish that they would do. But y'all silly enough to say we want the government to do it. And then when Donald Trump get in office, we got the House and Senate. We could make a restriction and codify it. We could get a bill passed in the Senate to ban all abortions, and the president was signing the law. And y'all silly enough to be mad that it's now up to the states and not the federal government. I swear, America, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't get America's perspective on this. You know, I think that women shouldn't be doing that stuff anyway. I think it's absolutely embarrassing for women to be fighting for the availability to go out there and take the life of their unborn baby because they're out here clowning around. Because I was listening to a clip of an abortionist that said he did thousands of them, and he said he only had like 2 that was due to coercion through no fault of their own, if you know what I'm saying, grape. And then there was the one that was 2. He said 2 or 3 was an ancestral thing or incest. And he said the rest of them were healthy moms making the determination and decision. I think he said he can count on one hand or 2 hands how many were life of the mother and those exceptions that a lot of people want there to be out there. That's what he said. And why women fight for this is insane to me. And let me say this, and I'm not trying to be mean to women. I love y'all. And all the women that are watching this, y'all are going to heaven just like Mother Mary. I'm talking about the girl on the other live stream. One thing I do not understand for the life of me is why do women take such weird perspectives? You know, maybe it's the way we gave women rights. Maybe it's the feminist movement. Because I almost feel like the same problem happened to black people. Unfortunately. The same issue happened with black people. You give black people rights to vote, and you leave them to their own devices, and now they're voting for communism. Now they're voting that they don't have a right to carry a firearm. Now they're voting for a party that want to replace them with illegal aliens. What are you doing? Women are the same thing. They get the right to vote, and now they're voting against their best interests. They're voting for a party that thinks that if a person identifies as a woman, that person should be able to thwart women's rights in sport, in the bathroom, privacy. That in the jail, a man can say, I identify, and he can go stay with the women and get them pregnant and do all kind of stuff to them. Women are voting overwhelmingly, especially the ones of the melanin, for stuff that hurts them. They want to vote for the party that wants you to do the, you know what, on demand. Well, you know what? That is genocide against the unborn, disproportionately affecting black women. They're voting against their best interests. They vote for a party that don't even know what a woman is. What are we doing? The party that Ketanji Brown Jackson, what is a woman? Supreme Court Justice, don't know what a woman is. I don't know. I'm not going to fight. The party that women vote for won't even identify what a woman is. The party that's against marriage, I mean, they're not in favor of marriage. They're not in favor of the nuclear family. And that's the party that women are voting for, majority. Thank God for white women that decided to pick the right decision. But black women, y'all, you know what I was thinking about the other day? And I know I'm going on a rant. You know what I was thinking about the other day? I see these clips of black women being upset and being like, we tried. I know why black women are mad now. They're mad because after all this virtue signaling and all this voting for Democrats and all of this, pompous behavior, and we are the most educated, they realize their vote don't count. That's why they upset. They're not upset really because Trump won. They're backing out of this because they voted all the way they did and it don't count. Because they voted like that and Donald Trump got elected. 9% of them voted for Trump and Trump got elected. I think Trump would have got elected with 100% of black women voting against Trump. And they realized, oh crap, we have no voice. And it's just going to get worse and worse. And I say this every time I talk, and I hope people are listening. It's going to get worse. By 2028, black women are going to could vote 99% for Democrats, and they're going to lose an election. Women can vote for 100% in 8 years, and they're going to lose. It doesn't matter. Women can vote for Republicans. Yeah, they add to the victory margin, but you can vote for Democrat and you're never going to win with just the female vote. They have no power. And thank you to single mothers and raising these kids and incarcerated men and all this other stuff, the abortions that y'all have every day, and you vote for the party that don't care about educating your children. You're getting you're reaping what you sowed. All right, let me finish this clip. Roll it.
Three Supreme Court justices that overturned.
Nigga, it's not on you. If we move it back.
Been law for 50 years.
Said it publicly, he's against that. And y'all also said Project 25. He also said publicly he's not going to do no Project 25.
He's a liar. Do you believe him? He said, nigga,
y'all only want Kamala Harris.
Your body, my choice. That's what Nick.
Why do you need an abortion? Why do you care about abortion? You're in high school.
It doesn't matter.
You're in high school.
Women get pregnant. Women our ages get pregnant.
Is you getting pregnant? Is you getting pregnant? Did you get pregnant once?
I shouldn't have to fear that though.
Are you even you probably a virgin.
This is crazy.
I'm worried about the wrong things, yo. Abortion is never one of y'all lists. We got wars. People trying to have war with us, and y'all worried about abortion.
That's enough. Let's
okay, but Mr. Lopez, they talking about abortion. They not talking about how Trump ended the China war within less than 24 hours of him being in office. The China war has already ended, and y'all want to keep bringing up abortion.
That doesn't fucking matter.
Is they slow? Y'all worried about abortion? Y'all not even having sex. Like, look at y'all.
It don't matter if we was.
Then we have to take turns.
Yeah.
And you have to be respectful of each other. And when it becomes too emotional and too controversial,
put the camera.
Then we're not going to discuss that issue.
No free flower.
So what right is he taking away from women? Y'all still ain't answering.
You shut up the girl that started everything. It's over.
Let's focus on the antebellum era during the Civil War, the origins of the Civil War.
Yeah, let's focus on that. People don't want to talk about how Trump is a good president.
Well,
yeah, he's dumb.
It isn't funny.
It's not funny. I'm dead serious.
And I hope you're not.
Can you believe it's another clip associated with this, right?
I'm not sure if they're related, but there's another teacher.
No, this clip goes on. I guess I didn't send you the clip that goes on because Corey Yeshua and Right Wing Angel both posted this, and it's an additional clip that goes on because the teacher started saying a lot of stuff. It's not this one. But the teacher started, pause it, please. The teacher started saying a lot of other stuff, but let me just stop right here. I have this kid's contact, his Instagram. I wanted to raise money for this kid because I wanted to give him a blessing, right? Write him a check. And I told people that I was going to do it, but I want to hold off real quick because I haven't been able to contact the kid. So I don't want to raise a bunch of money and we got $10,000 in my bank account and then I can't find the kid and I got to find a way to refund everybody. So I'm going to wait until I can make contact with this kid. Matter of fact, while I'm live, I'm going to look and see if somebody messages me back. I'm going to try to contact the young man, his parents, and see if I can at least write him a little check, right? Just a little thank you for standing up for what's right. And when I do it, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know about, so you can give $1 or something, and then we can do something special for the kid. Because it's got to be hard being a young black man in an environment like he was in, and they all jumping on him. Even the teacher. In the other extended clip, the teacher, it like continues to say, I'm not going to support people. I'm going to unfriend people. It's okay to unfriend people that supported Trump. That's what the teacher said. And the student's like, you're going to unfriend somebody because they voted for somebody you don't agree with. The kid was a boss. The kid was a boss in that. Did we find that clip? Yeah. Okay, I think we got the clip. Y'all, make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. If you like the live stream, I appreciate it. And while we look for the clip, thank y'all for the super chats, people who have super chatted. Tatum, please do a live stream review on PragerU's video, History of the Left. It explains everything that you're talking about, 100%. I mean, keep that in mind. We'll try to do that. I love Dennis Prager. I think he's amazing. All righty. We're getting that clip prepared now. And these kids, it's crazy because you could tell that their parents are pushing propaganda to them. And I actually like that these women are acting like this and that these people are acting like this, because as long as they are focused on silly stuff, we're going to keep winning elections. I remember people got mad at me and told me, oh, man, y'all going to lose the election because you're taking a stand on abortion. I'm like, the people don't care about that as much as they care about food on the table and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's some women that feel emotional about it, but are they going to be compelled to go out and vote based on it? Right? And I thank God that it didn't happen like that. But women, y'all need to work on it. Black people, y'all need to work on it. Those are the two groups that are susceptible to manipulation. And I don't know why, but it is what it is. Do we got the clip? All right, roll the clip. No sound. Had somebody really important phone call. So you got it, roll it.
Teacher. Way more.
He's saying you can still be respectful and that you can still have mutual terms with that person despite others having different
What are you
sides
talking
to
about?
other.
He just said his friends, those that he hang with, and correct me if I'm wrong. You said they asked you if you still gonna be cool after this. Right or wrong. So what are you talking about, ma'am?
No, Dad, again, let's not single anybody out, Myron.
No, because he said that's not what you said. I'm like, what are you talking about?
She said anything.
Everybody entitled to their own opinion now.
Right. So
Right.
why would you cut somebody off because they voted for Trump?
He didn't say. Well, he can do
Because
what
you
he
can't
wants.
dominate the discussion.
I never said you could.
If you want to
cut somebody
have some input to the dialogue, then you have to do so in a respectful manner and to be tolerant of each other's views. Now, just because I think I expected that our country citizens were more decent.
If they voted for Trump, they're not?
Yes.
What?
They're
He's a messed up person.
No, wait. Our citizens not decent because they voted for Trump?
You have your views, and I have mine. I'm entitled to mine.
But that's why you cut them off,
So
because you
if
don't
I have
correlate.
friends that tell me that, oh, MAGA, 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 I can't be friends with them.
Because he voted for Trump.
Because
Exactly.
What?
you don't get it. It's
Some
like you
people
don't
can't have
surround
their
yourself
own
by somebody who
opinion. Trump
don't.
is a good president. Some of y'all are blindsided by what y'all hear on the internet.
I love this kid, man. I love that he stood up for himself. I absolutely love it. Can you believe a teacher would get in the classroom and get emotionally invested into a conversation that is not impartial with his students? How do you pick a side? How do you say in front of the class that I'm going to cut people off because I thought America was decent? You are a teacher. You're teaching children and you're giving a biased perspective to the kids. As a teacher, you don't need to express your opinion. You need to let the children talk and let them express themselves and learn how to think through and process things. The best thing to do as a teacher, if you feel as if there's things out there politically that need to be addressed, give them an assignment to say, go out and I want you to prove why Trump is a bad president and you prove why Trump is a good president, depending on the opposite viewpoint that you have. And that'll teach people to go out and look at the other side. That's how teachers should act. Here's another clip of another teacher that lost his mind. This teacher lost it. I mean, to the point where he said, go ahead and fire me. I don't care if I get fired. The guy lost his mind because Donald Trump got elected. You can't make this up. I have never seen a video of a Republican conservative teacher losing his or her mind because Biden got in office. I've never seen a video. No such video have I ever seen. These people are melting down. Roll the clip.
Back is bigger, bro. Child molester. I'm gonna vote for that freaking rape. Katrina, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I have a daughter. I have 3 nieces, and he raped them, and people are voting for him. The Christians are voting for him. Bunch of losers. Fake Christians. Sebastian, where's Seabass? Okay, I'm writing my referral. Just do the warm up. I'm pissed. People voting for a freaking rapist. I'm pissed off. Man frightened by grabbing girls by the P word. Caught on video. Okay, try it tonight. Google it. Probably grab my daughter without permission. I don't care. Fire the hell out of me. I'm fighting for my daughter, my nieces. Their rights.
Their rights.
Turn it off and tell her to go back to your freaking seat now. Go. Take the fuck. Can you send security up? Please, room B205. I have a boy who has a Trump hat on, and I'm not going to tolerate it today. Bye-bye. I don't care if you have a Harris hat or Trump hat. You're out of here. You know better. Then tell Miller I have the right to vote for a rapist and a child molester. Go for it. Go for it. I don't give a F.
This can't be real. This can't be real. It can't be real. You cannot tell me that a grown man that's getting paid taxpayer dollar or property tax dollars, still tax dollar, is mad, that mad, and is saying outlandish things. Like Donald Trump would, R-word his daughter and niece. He's fighting for their rights. What rights have women lost since Trump been in office? What rights will you lose? Donald Trump, the president, can't take your rights away. What are you saying? And this person is a teacher. And he tries to say, to save his ashy elbows, well, I don't care if you have a Trump or a Kamala hat. Clearly, that's not true. Because you ain't said nothing about Kamala. You talking about Donald Trump. People voted for a you-know-whatist. Donald Trump ain't did nothing to nobody like that, man. That girl lied on Donald Trump. No independent witnesses to the case. Donald Trump is the man. You think he pushed some ugly, weird girl into a changing room? Like, I just don't buy the story. He denied it. There's no independent witnesses that happened. There's no record that it happened. And they somehow find him not guilty. Because there's no criminal action here. They cannot prove this in the court of law criminally at all, ever. It's no legitimate evidence. But civilly liable, it's a hoax. That man ain't pushed that girl in no room and did nothing. He was Donald Trump, man. He could get a girl next to her and be like, come to room 55. See you tonight. Come on. And he pushed him in front of everybody. At a place where everybody knows Trump. Trump couldn't walk around in New York without people seeing him and noticing him. But somehow he crept in there and pushed a girl in the changing room. And I guess he came out of there and she came out after him and nobody said nothing. Nobody saw nothing. Can't be that silly. You can't be that silly. Thanks so much for the super chat. I was voting for Trump, and then The View said they would leave the country if he won. That got me motivated to help others to register. So when are they leaving? You know they ain't finna leave nowhere. Tell them to go somewhere where Hamas is at. And let's see how long big I would say Oprah. Big Whoopi lasts. Y'all gonna see her on a terrorist propaganda video. These people are insane. And if you think that this is the only teacher that's doing this, you are misled. Teachers all over the country are shaming their students, belittling their students because they supported Donald Trump. It is a real psychological issue that people are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. It causes them to go outside of a logical reality, to create a fictitious story in their heart and in their mind, and then they become upset about it and enraged, and it didn't happen. Donald Trump taking women's rights that doesn't exist is not real. Donald Trump, I don't know whatever they say they're going to do with the country. It's not real. It does not exist. It is irrelevant, and it does not exist. All right, let me look and see what else we got on the agenda. If not, I'm going to answer some super chats and some questions. Okay. All right, thank y'all for the super chat. Let me answer a couple of these super chats real quick. And y'all can go to the Tatum store, and we'll go from there. Let's see. How do we counter-argue when some black folks who say you can't speak on black issues because you're not black? This is what I would tell them. I'll say, are you a human? And they'll go, yeah, I am a human. Well, I'm speaking to you as a human. I'm speaking about the human condition and human issues. You don't have to be black to be able to talk about a human experience. Black people aren't the only people that have experienced discrimination. So what are you talking about? Black people aren't the only people that were slaves at once upon a time. So how do you exclusively have the victim card? But I would tell somebody, are you a human? I'm a human, so I can talk about it. Because the funny thing is the people that love to tell you that you can't say nothing because you ain't black are the same people that talk about white people as if they know what it's like to be white. Well, you can't talk because you have white privilege. How you know what privilege I have? You ain't white. You don't know what this feel like. How are you judging the level of privilege and experience or exposure that I have in the world? You wouldn't know because you ain't white. So when it comes to white privilege, shut your mouth because you ain't white and you don't know what white privilege is. Just like you say, I don't know what a black struggle is. You don't know what white privilege is. So you keep your mouth shut on it. Oh, they ain't going to like that. You better be ready to fight if you say that to somebody. Officer Tatum, I'm a Trump supporter, and I've been laughing at the left losing their minds. Give it 3 to 6 months to jump on board. That's funny. It's wild. I bet the kid has an A+ in debate and forensics. I tip my hat to him. Here's a little something for him. If you do get in touch with his parents. I love that. $5, I appreciate it. As soon as I get in touch with his parents, I'm going to bless that kid. I'm going to send him a check. Because I just want him to bless him. I just want to bless kids because we celebrate the little Looney Tunes that get on there and paint their face and put a dress on and act like they're so stunning and so brave. And then we have somebody that actually is stunning and brave, and we just like, oh, yeah, good job. No, I want everybody in the classroom to know that people support him. We support you, young man, telling the truth and standing up for yourself. And I want everybody in this classroom to know you're not going to bully him. Y'all not going to gang up on him. The teacher got to know you're not going to, convince this kid that he can't have his own faith and beliefs. You got to be out of your mind to do that. And we're going to make an example out of these people. JL, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, Tatum, I'm 20 years old. I'm a 20-year-old black man, voted for Trump for the very first election. Thanks to you. I'm currently in college, and I'm writing a children's novel. What advice would you give me as a young man in life? Great. Put God first. That's the most important thing you can ever do in your life is put God first. You don't have to be perfect to put God first. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be a theologian. You don't have to do none of this stuff. You don't have to be consistent at church every day. You can work on it, but put God first of all. All that other stuff will come. You put him first. And he will direct you in the path that you should go. Another thing is have faith and confidence in what you believe. You're going to write a children's novel. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. Don't let anybody downgrade your dream. If God put it on your heart, you pursue it with all you got, and it will be successful if you put in the work. We talked about this in church last Sunday. You reap what you sow. if you are a person who don't give back, you don't support others, you're not gracious in giving, whether it's giving mercy, giving respect, if you're not graceful in doing any of these things, then these things will not come back to you. As a young man, if you want to be successful in life, you want to have a good, long life, and you want people to love you and be appreciative of you, and all of those great things, you need to do that to others. If you want somebody to sponsor you and support your book, support other people's material. If you want people to believe in you, believe in others. Those things will come back to you. Not tomorrow, because when you plant a seed, it don't pop out tomorrow. There become a time of harvest, and you're going to reap what you sow. So be kind, be nice to people, love people genuinely, and you will be successful. I should write that in the book somewhere, but appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Mighty Maxim, are you going to release tanks and sleeveless shirts and hoodies? I'm looking for some Trump gym gear. That's a good question, man. We might get on that. You know, it's cold as a mud at most of the places in the country, but we'll do that. We've been slammed down there, man. We got so much going on, so many people ordering stuff. It's kind of hard for us to get it all together, but we're gonna work on that. I take your advice, and I think that we should create some merch, especially put some of the stuff we have on athletic apparel. You should also send that kid a victory shirt. Yeah, that'd be good too, to send him some merch. Let's see, $5 challenge. Lady, thanks so much for the super chat. $5 challenge. That's funny. And I'll tell you what, if you put something about the kid, whatever you give, I'm gonna calculate it, and when I give to this kid, I'm gonna add yours to it. I got money sitting for the kid when you're ready. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If y'all super chat, I appreciate it. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna try to count the people who did it. But if I have a legitimate fundraiser, I'll give you an opportunity to give in that fundraiser. But I gotta find the kid first. I gotta communicate with him. I don't want you guys to be giving, and I never talk to the kid because I can never get in touch with his parents. So I'm gonna try to do my best because I want to bless this kid. I literally want to go and fly wherever he's at and present a check to him. Let's see. Stanky, thanks so much for the super chat. Give boy a bunch of Trump merch so he can troll. I'm 100%. I may make some special merch for him. Let him tell me what he wants on the shirt, and I'll make it and send it to him. When are you going to see? When are we going to see another B. Tatum, ABL, and Jericho Green stream? You guys must really want that to come back, man. I think we got our little system in place now where we can live stream, and we got some things going. I honestly think I'm gonna have to hire some more people because I really need this thing to be smooth. I don't need to overwork people. I need to hire some more people. So if you live in Arizona or if you're willing to relocate to Arizona, we got a jobs tab, I think, on my website. Go and click on it, or send me an email if you have video editing experience, if you have experience producing, directing, or anything of that nature. Send me a DM. I cannot promise that I'm going to hire you. I'm going to look up, send me your resume. I'm going to look over your resume. And if you're willing to relocate and be here in Scottsdale, Arizona, I'll be willing to give a closer look at it because we need to make this prolific. I think I'm falling behind because I don't have enough team and we're not producing enough content, in my opinion. And it's my fault. So we're going to be hiring some more people because I want to make this thing right. Because we could have been streaming. I was thinking about this. We should have been streaming on Instagram as well as this and Rumble. And so those are the opportunities that I think we miss, but I think we'll get it right. All right. If you have a question, ask it. What I'm going to do right now is just for the members only. Nick, if you could just put the chat to the members only, and then if I think it's kind of easy to do, maybe not. And then I'm going to try to answer some questions from the members, and then we're going to get up out of here. Let's see. I can't tell now. It'll say it in a minute. $19. Thanks so much. It says good for the kid standing his ground and had a big, I think it's future of he stays the path. Okay. future if he stays the path. Okay. All right. HGT, thank you so much for joining the Tatum squad. I don't know if it worked or not, but let me see how I do it. I think eventually we're going to try to get members only. But all right, I got a bunch of phone calls coming in. I got to get back to work. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining the live stream. We'll see you on the next one. We out of here.